Who are you? I didn't even know everybody was gonna be here like this.
Oh, damn, you about to be live.
Call the
But he live now.
Hey, bear with me 1 second, Israel. Bear with me 1 second. Who are they?
What?
Bear with me 1 second. Be with y'all in 1 minute.
They rolled out and shit?
I think they outside.
Yeah.
I think they out front. So, like, you on the class?
Oh, live. Damn, you live?
Call him a cunt.
Oh, shit. It's live. No, you got it.
Call him a cunt. All right, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Bashem Yashah Brakathum, Yahweh Shamar, Atham Bashem Yashah. I'm Priest and Officer at 1000, Yedaya. I'm holding the class down for Priest and Captain of 13,000, Shapar Napash. Now, this is the history class. And tonight we're going to go over the identity of the real Jews because I saw an article today that I'm going to read a little bit for y'all that disturbed me. Now, as you know, Nick Cannon came out there early on last year and came out and said that, you know what I mean, that blacks are the real Jews. The blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women are the Israelites of antiquity. And then the pushback that he got from that, you know, the oppressor, the so-called Jew came at him and Nick Cannon folded. He buckled down, you know what I mean, right, and faded into oblivion and then went on to kiss the ass of the oppressor. And it just goes to show you, man, the entertainers are not qualified to be our leaders. They are not qualified to be our leaders. First of all, man, we have a king, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. And he goes by the name of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know him as Jesus Christ. That is our king. That is our Lord. And we have to understand, man, you keep looking toward these celebrities, and these celebrities are going to break your poor Christian hearts every time. I know y'all get excited every time somebody says something, but you got to understand, it is not their job to do the office of a priest. What Nick Cannon said was correct. Deshaun Jackson reiterated the same thing, but they didn't stand on it. This is why it's important, as the Lord shows people, that we have to stand fast on this truth, man. We have to stand fast and not waver and don't falter to the oppressor, because the oppressor held over his head. Well, you know, you ain't gonna be able to do the Masked Singer. They took Wildin' Out from him. As soon as they start taking the things away from Nick Cannon that he liked and built up, he started to fold and said, well, maybe blacks aren't the real Jews. He went out there and started kissing the ass of the oppressors. Like it for the language, man. He came out, we're gonna go into the article, but we have to understand, when he went out there and sat with that rabbi, that was a disgusting thing to do, and sit there and cater to the oppressor, man. First of all, the so-called Jew, we call him a so-called Jew because he's not a Jew. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's Amalek, Amalek in the Hebrew, man. He ain't a real Jew. Nick Cannon sitting there with that rabbi talking about, well, we us and black, us and so-called Jewish people had a similar struggle. You went through, you know what I mean, captivity in Egypt. When there is no record of any white people being in captivity in Egypt, in Kemet, but you know who was in captivity in Egypt? It's all over the hologlyphs. It's all over the walls. They try to fade out that history, but when you do the history behind it, blacks and Hispanics and First Nation men and women were the ones in captivity in Israel, man. Right. We are the Lord's chosen people. As a matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 28:68, because that's in the Bible. Our slavery is in the Bible. It's called the transatlantic slave trade, man. They try to wipe it out from existence, Oshawa. They try to call it the Great Migration now. Right. In the history book. They try to tell our kids, well, we migrated over here and willingly became indentured servants like the Irish. La-ah. We didn't do that. The oppressor came and bought us from the Africans and the Arabs. Go ahead, Oshawa.
If I could, too, right? What's so heavy about the Nick Cannon situation, and like him calling him out how he did at first, and then stepping back on it and sitting with him, placate to him, like that's so disgusting, because that man stole your identity. That's your oppressor as far as your people concerned. Like, I hate seeing Caucasian people, Edomites, read the Bible.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If I could, I got there watching class. I think Tuesday I was watching the Monday class. My little brother walked in the room when it ended. Like, he seen me watching it, but it ended.
Right.
And some white people with the Bible came on, but I'm like moving back and forth doing something. He came in the room like, what is this? Did you turn this on? Turn this off. Like, why these white people on here? This supposed to be Jesus? This ain't Jesus. He black. Like, he caught an attitude with me. Like, yeah, right. Like our children, we should be disgusted for him to sit down and placate to that man like that. That's very disgusting because you showing this man your behind and he stole your whole identity and lied to the whole world. Like, don't let that lie stand.
Right, he definitely did.
You gotta stand on that lie.
Right, you know, give Ashwap a hand. And also Ashwap, hold Revelations 2 and verse 9. Because we have to understand, they trying to wipe out our history. They trying to tell us, you know what I mean, that the so-called Jew, he's the Jew, that he goes through oppression. First of all, it said when we come back into our land, it was going to be peace. It was going to be peace. He ain't having peace over there. Right. The so-called Jew is not having peace. He's over there battling the Arabs, battling other oppressors. You can forget about it. Iran and Iraq is both talking trash against the so-called Jew. There ain't no peace over there. What was that? What was the name of that Egyptian politician who said that the Jews left black and came back white? Because them Arabs over there know who the real Jews are. We the real Jews. Nasser. Something Nasser. The water, sir. Something Nasser. Talking about how, you know what I mean, the Jews left black and came back white. Yeah, we left black. And when they so-called came back, they came back white. It's a problem, man. That should tell you right there that the so-called Jew, the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, is not a Jew. Our slavery, you know what I mean, the transatlantic slave trade is right here in the Bible. We'll show it to you. I challenge anybody to show me a record of where so-called Jewish people went into captivity on cargo slave ships. I don't want to hear about the so-called Holocaust, because even so-called white scholars deny and question that. They question that. But here's the thing that cannot be questioned. The 100 million First Nation men and women that were murdered by the oppressor. The 100 million Black and Hispanic men and women that died just in the Middle Passage coming over here. And they trying to call it the Great Migration when it was the transatlantic slave trade, man. And they say it started in 1619, they say, but the oppressor does lie. There are early accounts as early as 1492 because our Hispanic brothers went into captivity first. They the ones that went into captivity first. The conquistador and Cortez and them boys came over here and enslaved the Taino Indian, our brothers and sisters of the tribe of Ephraim, Manasseh, of the tribe of Gad and Ra'alban, sending them back over to Spain and taking their land. You see what they do to our Mexican brothers and sisters of the tribe of Issachar, man. Our history is documented right here in this Bible. And this is the history class, and we're going to go into it. All right, Bob, give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68.
Oh, God. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. What does it mean to be brought into Egypt again? Egypt is a Greek word which means Egyptos, which means bondage. Meaning we're going to go into bondage again. And to be honest with you, the so-called Jew has never been in bondage to any man. He ain't been in bondage to nobody. What bondage he going through? He got the Diamond District. He owned everything. He's the top of the music industry. I know y'all look at Jay-Z, Beyonce, Chloe X, Bailey, and all these other superstars of music, but the so-called Jew is the top of that. That was like Clyde Davis, man. They are at the top of the music industry, at the top of the NFL and the NBA. They are the ones that run this. What captivity they in? What bondage are they in? You know who's in bondage? We are Black man, Hispanic man, and woman. Egypt means bondage. Read on.
God. With ships.
With what?
Ships.
With ships. Who went into slavery and cargo slave ships? We did, Black man, Hispanic man, and woman. We did. It's called the transatlantic slave trade. The Arabs, we got a problem with, you know what I mean, Islam here in Philadelphia. The Arabs are the ones that made the slave ships. And them stinking rhinoceros residue, you know what I mean, and giraffe water smelling Africans, they're the ones that rounded us up and sold us to the oppressor. The transatlantic slave trade was a sophisticated system, man, where all these nations came together. This as David said in Psalms 83rd chapter, that these other nations are confederate against thee. They came confederate against us. They came together with one consent to cut us off from being a nation. That's why you call yourself Black, African American. You call yourself Puerto Rican. You call yourself Mexican. You call yourself Haitian. But that's not our identity, man. We are the Israelites of antiquity. But it says that we shall go into captivity again with what I buy?
With ships.
With ships. That happened to us and nobody else, man. No so-called Jew could come up and state that his people went into captivity on cargo slave ships. It never happened. It never happened. History does not have a record of that. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, Thou shalt see it no more again.
Thou shalt see it no more again, man. We ain't seen Jerusalem. We ain't seen Zion. We ain't seen Israel in its greatness with us being charged. The oppressor is over there being a homosexual and a sexual deviant, having pride parades, polluting the land. We ain't seen our land in its glory, man. We haven't seen it. You know what we do see? We see North Philly. We see Southwest Philly. We see West Philly. We see Harlem. We see, you know what I mean, Compton and Watts. We see Detroit, Flint, Michigan. We haven't seen our land. As the scriptures say, this is not our rest, man. This is not our rest. We are still in the land of our captivity, man. And the so-called Jew has done a superb job in tricking everybody into believing that he is God's chosen people. You mean to tell me them ugly niggas, Salakia? You mean to tell me them ugly monstrosities are the Israelites of antiquity? They're not. With the little yarmulkes and the red hair and the pale skin, they are not the Jews, man. And we're going to go into who the real Jews is. We're going to go into the description tonight. And we're going to go into that article with Nick Cannon and the alliance he made with the so-called Jew. I'm too upset. Read on Ibad.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Come on, man. The scriptures say that we're going to be sold unto our enemies. The problem with our people is you don't realize that the white man is our enemy.
That's right.
You too busy. If I could, Israel. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. I hate to tell it to you. Salaki, you are not free, white, and 21. What do I mean when I say you're not free, white, and 21? Being free, white, and 21 means you can go in and storm your own Capitol building and face no repercussions. But if you a black man storming the Capitol like that one brother, you still being denied bail, while that other devil who stormed the Capitol, she gets to go on a paid leave vacation to Cancun, man. It goes to show you just how much the oppressor loves his own. And it goes to show you the love that we need to have for each other. We were sold unto our enemy. The oppressor is our enemy. Shalom. Y'all watching with us? Shalom, sir. Y'all watching with us? Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. Sorry. Read it again from the top, but
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
Ships.
With ships. We're the ones that went in the cargo slave ships with ships, man. Black men, Hispanic men, and First Nation men and women. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
We ain't seen our land again, man. We still in the land of our captors, man. Read on.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
The oppressor is our enemy, and he's also the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And to show you that he's the devil, he sat there with that small, conniving look on his face, like a proud slave master checking Nick Cannon, telling him, well, you need to do the history of our oppression. What oppression has the so-called Jew went through? What has he went through? Hitler? Come on now. You know why Hitler did what he did? Because you wanted to quote 12 show General Mayaka Alaka, is a lucky for the language, because you wanted to be niggas. Hitler knew that you weren't the real Jews, man. And it was oppressing the other Germans, oppressing the other oppressors. But here's the thing. As children, Israel, our parents always told us, stay out of grown folks' business. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, stay out of white folks' business.
Right.
Stay out of white folks' business. Don't worry about them. We have to worry about ourselves, man. We have a God that we must serve. We have a kingdom we have to have faith in. And the Lord commands us to understand that we have to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. And we have to understand, and more importantly, our history. You understand our history, man, we'll be able to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. We'll be able to do what the Lord said to do. And the Lord told us, you know what I mean, that we were going to serve our enemies. The oppressor is our enemy, and it ain't no if, and buts around it. There ain't no if, and buts around it. He will forever be your enemy. Susan, Susie, Tim, they are our enemies. Read on.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Slave men and slave women. Slave men and slave women, man. Read on.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy you. What does it mean that no man shall buy you? Meaning nobody gonna save you from this captivity.
Right.
And brothers tried. Brothers tried. Marcus Garvey had the Back to Africa movement, but the thing is, we not Africans, black man, Hispanic man, and woman. We ain't African. Malcolm X tried with Islam and he failed. Martin Luther King, Michael Luther King tried and he failed. No man is going to save us out of this captivity. You know who's going to save us? Our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know him as Jesus Christ. When he comes down with 200 million angels and lays waste to the earth, man. Lays waste to the oppressor and these kingdoms, man. He's going to do that. And what we have to understand, and which is just so evil, what was so evil in Nick Cannon, is that he backtracked. He yielded to the so-called Jew. Talking about you have to understand my pain and my oppression. Go ahead, Oscar.
If he could, he should have asked him what was going on with the rabbis giving them babies herpes during the stream and what scripture it was. That's what he should have did. That's what I would ask him. I'd like if I could, Mr. Oppressor. I wanted to know why y'all was giving baby herpes when they was getting circumcised.
I got a better question. I got a better question. Show me Christ. I got a better question, Oscar. Why does your precious homosexual rabbi have herpes?
Right.
Why does the rabbi have herpes? Because he's a sexual deviant. He's a homosexual. He's a pedophile. And they're the priests. Give me a break, man. The priests and prophets are here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. The generals, captains, and officers and troopers, man. Give me a break. No rabbi got herpes because he's a sexual deviant, a homosexual, a pedophile. Giving that to babies, man. And some of y'all Negroes exalt them evil pedophiles. Go ahead, Oscar.
Why the baby penis in your mouth? I don't understand. That ain't, what medical field said that's something they clean it off? It's sanitary. I thought the human mouth had more germs than the dog mouth.
Show me that in the Bible. show me that in the Torah. Listen, what's just so heavy about it, man? Which is so heavy. Like, and I'm looking at Nick Cannon, and you sitting there listening to all that nonsense, and I'm like, man, we are really destroyed as a people. Right. We are destroyed as the Lord shows the people. This is why it's important for us to understand our history. That rabbi sat there so smug, and let me tell you something. He's not a Jew. He's not. We also gonna go into, you know what I mean? Which we're gonna read about Samuel and Saul, on how Samuel told Saul as he inquired of the Lord, and the Lord told Samuel to tell Saul to kill all the Amalekites, man, for what they did. We're going to go into that tonight. But first, I want to go into this article before we get Revelations, the 2nd chapter. Now, there was an article that I'm getting ready to pull. And I read this article, and I was like, man, what the hell is this? It says, Tiffany Haddish and Nick Cannon launched the Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance with 170 other entertainment leaders. It says more than 170 Black and Jewish leaders from the entertainment industry have announced a joint initiative to counter racism and anti-Semitism in the entertainment community. First of all, what's the problem with that? Immediately, I'll tell you what the problem is. The so-called Jew talking about he wants to battle racism and anti-Semitism with so-called black people. Guess what? The so-called Jew, the white man, you're anti-Semitic. Right. You're anti-Semitic. Why do I say you anti-Semitic? They're like, you can't go out there and tell him that he's anti-Semitic. You gotta explain yourself. Well, guess what? He's anti-Semitic because he's not a real Jew. He's not. The real Jews are black. Give me Jeremiah 14 and verse 2. Talk about to counteract racism and anti-Semitism. You're the anti-Semite. And the sad thing is, our people don't understand, man, that we are the real Jews, that the Jews are black. That Nick Cannon was correct. And now he's getting together with that African Tiffany Haddish and other entertainers to combat anti-Semitism. Give me a break, man. Let's see what the Lord said about the description of the Jews, man. All right, Bob, you got what I asked for?
Oh, God.
Read.
This is the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 14 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Judah mourneth.
It says Judah mourning, meaning black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman. We are in mourning, man. Judah meaning short for Jew. Judah is mourning, man. Black man, Hispanic man, and woman. We are mourning right now Why are we mourning? Because we still in the land of our captivity. We are in mourning. The so-called Jew not in mourning. He's not in mourning. What does Adam Silver have to mourn over?
Right.
What does Goldberg have to mourn over? Come on, man. What does Ostowitz have to mourn over? He got the Diamond District. He ain't in mourning. He making billions and upon trillions of dollars. He ain't mourning. The black man, Hispanic man, and woman, we mourning right now because of the condition that we in here in America, the condition that we in Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica and the Dominican Republic and in Haiti. We mourning in Mexico. We mourning in Brazil. We're mourning, you know what I mean, in Guatemala and Panama. We're mourning in Chile. We are the people that are in mourning. The oppressor ain't in mourning. He ain't got nothing to mourn about. He's in his heaven. He's on top. We're at the bottom. It says Judah mourning. Meaning black man and woman, we are mourning right now. Go ahead, Ashtawa.
If I could, that's because like I just was drawing a parallel with the next scripture that's gonna come up, but that just made me think of another parallel how like our people during this pandemic, like we really, you know what I'm saying, was looking like we need stimulus check, we need unemployment, you know what I'm saying, we need all that, and even the coronavirus, I said, it's killing us by wages, basically like the poor people getting more. It's like our oppressor, he gets, I think, millions of dollars every year from America.
Right.
To do whatever the hell he doing. He got a military, he trying to take more of whatever he trying to take. And it's like he over here going through hell. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The so-called Jew get $55 billion annually a year. He gets that a year. What the hell do we get? Black man, what we get? Hispanic man, what we get? Oh, I'll tell you what we get. We get a knee on our neck.
Right.
We have oppressors kicking down our doors and murdering our ribs while they sleep. That's what we get. That's why I said Judah is in mourning, man. Black man, Hispanic man, and woman, we are in mourning. The oppressor ain't mourning nothing. Read on.
Oh, God. And the gates thereof language.
The gates thereof language, meaning what is the gate used for? The gate is for protection. What protection we have, black man, Hispanic man, and woman? Who's your protection? Who's your leadership? Who is it? Creflo Dollar? TD Jakes? You know TD Jakes was sitting down on a chair and Kirk Franklin was sitting in his lap. That's the leadership of black people. That's the leadership right there. Geno Jennings, come on now. That's our leadership. Jesse Jackson. We are in mourning, man. Our gates are languishing. We don't have no leadership. Guess what, black man, Hispanic man, and woman? We have leadership. The leadership of every black, Hispanic, and First Nation man and woman is the ISUPK since 1969. That is the leadership. That's the gate of our people, man. But our people are too stubborn. You looking towards the oppressor, and you looking towards these silly Uncle Tom Negroes and Hispanics, and those gates languish, man. We in mourning right now for the condition that we in. Read on, Bob.
They are black.
They are what?
Black.
They are black. The Jews are what, Bob?
Black.
They are black. So Goldberg, you're not a Jew, buddy. Ostowitz, you're not a Jew. Steiner, you're not a Jew. The real Jews are black. Read on.
Unto the ground.
Unto the ground. If you break the ground up, there's different shades and derivatives of brown, man. Different shades of black. You got different shades of it. That's why we don't go by colorism. And that's another plague that plagues our people because people are dark skinned and light skinned. You got to stop doing that. Numbers 1:18 say you are the seed of your father by the pedigree of your dad. That's what makes you an Israelite, man. If your father's a black, Hispanic, or First Nation man, you are an Israelite according to the Most High, man.
Right.
You are the son. We are the sons of Israel, man. Yasha'al in the Hebrew, the sons of Jacob, who the Most High made a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. And the oppressor comes from the stock of Esau. And the so-called Jew comes from the stock of Esau, and he's Amalek. Amalek in the Hebrew. It says the Jews are black unto the ground. That's why you got different colors and shades, man. We come in different type of shades and colors. Big shout out to Priest and Officer 1000 Barzal. Barzal say the flyest thing all the time, talk about how, we got 12 different flavors. That's how we are, Israel. We 12 different flavors. And guess what? The oppressor, that ain't one of the flavors, man. That ain't a flavor. That's bland. That's sour milk right there. We that good stuff. We are chocolate. We guanabanan up in here. We got flavor and taste to us, man. And it ain't nobody like us. That's why, man, when we read it right here in Jeremiah 14:2, it shows that we are the Jews. We are the Israelites of antiquity. And the oppressor is not a Jew. I'm going to go back to the article, man. Talking about, the article says, noteworthy entertainers like Tiffany Haddish, Sherry Lash, and Herbie Hancock, Phil Rosslin, Diane Warren, Jason Alexander, Billy Porter, and Nick Cannon. You know what I mean? They formed, you know what I mean, the Alliance, the Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance, devoted to countering racism and anti-Semitism. Man, you anti-Semitic, oppressor. You're the real anti-Semite. You anti-Semitic because you are not a Jew, and we can prove it. Give me Revelation 2:9. But go ahead, bring what you were going to say.
If I could, too, like that don't even make no sense. Like they just fired you out. Like, if I could, they fired you, and then you teamed up to help you.
That's what kills me.
Why don't you leave and just use the money that you already made to help your people, and then you do what you want to do on your own instead of
right. And which is heavy. What Ashwab is bringing out is that he loves his white daddy, Nick Cannon. He loves the Masked Singer. He loves doing things for the oppressor, man. Now you forming alliances. Now you done took first of all, he was wearing the female headpieces. I understand. He trying. But it goes to show you that he's not qualified. He's not. He buckled under the pressure of the oppressor, man. And give me Revelations 2 and verse 9. We're going to show you what our king said, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, out of his mouth on the account of the so-called Jew who's not a Jew. Go ahead.
If I could, I'm going to read the scripture. But when I was thinking about it, I remember looking at our position in this kingdom directly to the Jewish man, and how we not in the same type of position. Like we the real Jews according to the scriptures because of this scripture. But it just made me think of Donald Sterling in the basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think his name was Tokowitz or something. Like that's a Jew saying he don't want whatever award he with, not to take pictures with niggas, and I buy them cars and I do all this thing. Like that's your position.
And you know what's so heavy about that? I was not mad at him in the world when he said that because he was honest.
Right.
He was honest. And that's how all oppressors feel. Recently, LeBron James got into it with some devil. You know what I mean? Some devil on the sideline, and his she-devil talking about she's 25, but she looked 45. Right. Because, you know what I mean? The oppressor and his woman, they age like cheese. They don't age well. You know what I mean? You got Black and Hispanic women that's 70 years old and still look like they 30. Come on now. They age like cheese. We age like fine wine. And it just goes to show you, man, this how evil they are, man. They are evil bastards. Them devils talk about, well, you know, LeBron said this. He said this to me. The oppressor has a sense of entitlement, as he should, because this is his kingdom. This is his kingdom. But for him to make an account that he is the Jew, and the scripture said that the Jews will be going through oppression, that the Jews will be serving their enemies in a land they know is not, that we would be in poverty. What oppression is the oppressor going through? What is that? I would love to understand, Ashtawa, if I could. I would love to understand the problems of the oppressor. Right. Like, what do you really go through? You know, because we struggle, you know, Black and Hispanic men and women, we struggle. Every single day we go through it. And it goes to show you that the oppressor is built differently from us. You want to know why? To give you another little sense of history, right? During the Great Depression, the oppressor was going through it. He was killing himself because he ain't had no funds. The oppressors was going home, killing their mama, daddy, and grandmom, and killing the kids. You know, I lost everything in the stock market, and then killing their family, and then blowing their brains out. Black man, Hispanic man, and woman, we go through each and every day trying to figure out what the hell we gonna eat. But we don't kill ourselves. Right. We make it. We survive. We push on. It just goes to show you that we built different from the oppressor. Right. We built different. They not built. We built to last like the Duracell battery, Oscar Watt. For real. They like them Dollar General batteries. They don't last long. Go ahead.
If I could, that just remind me of Jacob and Esau a lot. Like Esau thought he was gonna die, so he sold his damn birthright, like just off of being hungry. Like we be hungry and we think, dang, I gotta make a way. Esau get a little bit uncomfortable, like I got to kill everybody. That's what I got to do. That's what I'm saying. He get one sense of a little bit of uncomfortability. He want to kill everybody. Let a sister reject. Let a woman. Let one of Esau's dogs reject him. He going to the school and he's shooting up the school. He gonna shoot the school up because he got denied some tail from another dog. But
Black man, you lose your woman every day. Sister, your man leave you every day. And we still standing. We still here. It goes to show you, man, we are built different. If the oppressor went through a quarter of what we went through, he would not make it. And I cannot wait for the kingdom. I bring up Captain Meshach all the time for this story. I'm going to tell it again. I cannot wait until we get into the kingdom. Lord willing, I'm storming the first white man plantation. I'm kicking down the barn door. I'm going to see the first oppressor, first she-devil, first white woman with her baby. I'm snatching that baby. I'm getting up on my horse, one of them mountain horses, them big mountain horses you see that be pulling logs. It's gonna be a style. He's gonna be black too. And I'm gonna hop on him, and then I'm gonna ride off, and I'm gonna come back every once in a while and bring that child. And when that devil has the courage to ask me that's her baby, I'm gonna tell the baby to look at her, look at me, look at her, and snatch that child off and ride off in the sunset and do the same shit next week. Salaki for the language. Because they put our foremothers through postpartum depression. They raped our mothers and raped our men and destroyed us. And guess what? We ain't gonna rape you. We ain't gonna sexually abuse you. We're not gonna do you like you did us. But goddamn, you sold our babies. We are going to put yours on eBay. I'm snatching your kids and I'm selling your kids like Badaya for 10 cents on the dollar. Lord be with that baby. And it goes to show you, if they went through a quarter of what we went through, they would kill themselves, man. Think about what we go through every day, the struggle that we go through, just as blacks and Hispanics and First Nation men and women, especially with the COVID. The oppressor ain't been through no real oppression, but he will. He will. When a black man by the name of Yahweh Shah Mashiach comes down and lays waste to him. Give me Revelations 2 and verse 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
It is, I know thy works and not tribulations. I know thy works. I know thy tribulation. Who going through tribulation right now? Black man, Hispanic man, and woman, we going through tribulation right now. Times is hard right now for us. And it's been hard. The oppressor ain't going through no tribulations. He don't know what it's like to wake up and not have nothing to eat. He has the money. He has the diamond district. He has all the businesses. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, we broke, baby. We going through it. We broke. But guess what? Read on, Ashwa.
And poverty.
And poverty. We going through poverty. We are broke, man. We going through it. We in the ghetto. We in the barrio. We on the reservations. We are in poverty. We don't have nothing. We don't have nothing. We are in hell right now. Hell is not some little underground where you go with some little devil in pink or red pantyhose is poking you to death and a fire. No. Hell is that ghetto and barrio that we go to. Hell is that ghetto and barrio where you got the drug dealers and sisters selling their bodies, man, and we murdering each other and murdering our babies in the abortion clinic, man. That's hell. And heaven is the oppressor having his nice high-rise buildings, sitting out there in his urban gardens, drinking the finest wine and driving their expensive chariots, their expensive cars and everything, living life off of the backs of our labor.
Right.
We going through hell. We going through trials and tribulations. We don't. That's what.
Come. But thou art rich.
But thou art what?
Art rich.
But thou art rich, meaning we are rich, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. We are rich in the Most High in Christ. We are the Lord's chosen people. And the Lord requires of us obedience, man. The Lord requires of us to obey him. We are rich in the Most High in Christ. Read on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews. How can I forget? Max Kellerman, the so-called Jew on ESPN, because you know you die and watch sports, Israel. Watch sports. Max Kellerman came out and said Nick Cannon saying that the Jews are black and Hispanic is low-class information when he don't even know the Bible. And we know the Bible. And the Bible says that the biblical Israelites of antiquity are black, Hispanic, and First Nation men and women. That so-called Jew, that devil Max Kellerman had the nerve to say it's low-class information. Well, he can't prove that he's the real Jew because he ain't the real Jew. He says, I know thy works are not tribulation and not poverty, but thou art rich. And the blasphemy, as Stephen A. would say, the blasphemy, it's blasphemous. It's blasphemous that Max Kellerman and that silly Rabbi Souza can call themselves Jews, man. They homosexuals and pedophiles and murderers. That's why our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Jesus Christ, said, I know the blasphemy of what?
Them, which say they are Jews.
With them that say they are Jews. Them same so-called Jews that's making that alliance with Nick Cannon right now, it's blasphemous according to Christ for them to call themselves Jews. Read on.
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And are not. He's not a real Jew.
Right.
He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. El hombre blanco es el diablo. That's who the devil is. That's why our King told us. Of them that say they are Jews and are not. But read on.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
But are the what?
Synagogue of Satan.
But are the synagogue of Satan. They pile up in their synagogues. I saw a story actually about all on devils, man. Commander Johnny Yohana, big shout out to Commander Johnny Yohana. They did a story on this too. About these devils, these so-called Jews. And they yarmulkes having a funeral, man, where the building can only hold 2,000 people. And 5,000 people showed up. Could you imagine how show up if that had been us? The oppressor would have shut that down.
Right.
But the so-called Jew could do that. He don't give a damn, man. The blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not, and of the synagogue of Satan. They are the synagogue of Satan, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. They not the real Jew. You know who is? We are. We're the real Jews.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Christ gave another account. Give me Revelations 3 and verse 9.
Okay.
Revelations 3 and verse 9, Bubba for show. And Ashtawa, hold Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. We're the real Jews, man. We're the Israelites of antiquity. Nick Cannon and them other celebrities, man, them other black and Hispanic celebrities that's forming an alliance with them so-called Jews, they wrong, man. Because the so-called Jew is not a real Jew. Nick Cannon needs to understand he's a real Jew, and he should have stood on what he said because he was correct. Something that the Israelite School of UPK has been saying since 1969. And we're not going to wither, we're not going to falter. The problem is Nick Cannon wanted to sing and dance for his oppressor. But Barakatah Yahweh Shah for the Israelite School of UPK and for Commander Johnny Yohana. Because Commander Johnny Yohana don't sing and he don't dance. He put out an order, man, when he was crushing Islam and them pastors a couple years ago and said, I'm not going to let my officers and captains stop. I'm not going to let the troopers stop because every black and Hispanic and First Nation man and woman is my responsibility. Something that your pastor and preacher and imam don't know nothing about, man. The responsibility of waking up the Lord's chosen people is only upon the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. If you want to come and join the army of the Most High, you best come into the ISUPK. I pray you understand. All right, Bob, give me Revelation 3 and verse 9.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
You know what?
I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Talking about the oppressor, the man who calls himself a Jew. Read on.
Which say they are Jews.
Which say they are Jews. They not a Jew. That Rabbi Solzhen, that homosexual rabbi that sat with Nick Cannon, he's a pedophile. He's a homosexual. He's not a real Jew. Read on.
And are not.
And are what?
Not.
And are not. They are not the real Jews. Read on.
But do lie.
But they what?
Lie.
But they do lie. They lie. They lied and told everybody that they're the real Jew. That's one of the greatest lies the oppressor has ever told. They tell us that we're what? African American? Black man, you a descendant of Leo Scipio's Africanus. You a descendant of Amerigo Vespucci. Two Italians, one Roman, one Italian. Amerigo's Vespucci, an Italian explorer. Scipio Africanus, a Roman conqueror. That's your nationality. Go ahead, Ashtawa.
If I could, too, what's so heavy about that with the Nick Cannon situation is, it's like, how can you try to act like you're going to wake your people up and then sit and be joined, like, even with the Old Testament so-called Israelites, too, like, the ones that join themselves to our oppressor, I'm not sharing my nationality with the people that took it away from me.
And big shout out.
Damn that.
Give Ashtawa a hand and give a big shout out to Abba Bibbers, man. Because Abba Bibbers was rolling. In the early 60s, Abba Bibbers, man. Found out he was an Israelite. Found out, by learning from the old slaves down there in Florida, I believe. And the brothers he was rolling with initially, they was following after the oppressor. And Abba Bivens was like, hold the hell up, man. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I can't get down with this. And he went out there and started teaching, man. In the early days, in the One West, in the early days of the ISUPK. And got with Yaquab and I believe Chief Air Priest Yaquab and Mashab. Chief Air Priest Ariyah. And they murdered. And them homosexual Muslims, man, murdered Abba Bivens, man, for teaching the truth, man. Abba Bivens was like, hold on, man, I can't be sitting here associating with the so-called Jew. He's not a Jew. Right. And it goes to show you silly Negroes, and silly Hispanics that want to join yourself to the oppressor. You're a traitor. I gotta read. I gotta read this, man, in this article. It says, we acknowledge that the Black and Jewish communities have a shared history of subjugation and persecution. What subjugation and persecution has the so-called Jew went through, man? Because here's the problem. Here's the issue. Even by the oppressor's account, they question the Holocaust. Right. They question what happened with them. I'm not saying that it did not happen. But the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, he speaks out against that himself. But it can't be disputed. The 500 million of us that perish, man, of Blacks and Hispanics and First Nation men and women, the number could be greater than that. We're the ones that go through subjugation and persecution, man. So-called Jew ain't being persecuted. Persecuted for what? It says in July. Read on, Bob.
Kawakad. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
I will come and make them worship before thy feet. It's going to come a time when the so-called Jew got to worship before our feet. Read on.
And to know that I have loved thee.
That I have loved thee. Christ is saying, I loved you. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Christ don't give a damn about the oppressor, man. He don't give a damn about them. And what we have to understand, I buy a whole 2 Maccabees 6 and verse 6. But Ashwab, give me Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. You want to know why we don't know our history? You want to know why? And our history is right here in this Bible, man. Right. The history is right here in this Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. It's collecting dust on your auntie's dresser, your grandmom's drawer. It's collecting dust because our people are caught up following after the oppressor, following Christianity. But we don't understand, man, that we've been stripped of our identity because we ain't want to do what the Lord said to do. Read what you got, Ashwab. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4.
Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine inheritance.
Thou, even thyself, shalt what?
Discontinue from thine inheritance.
We'll discontinue from thy inheritance. What is our inheritance, man? Our identity, our culture, our ways, which is right here in the Bible, man. We're the Israelites of antiquity, Black man, Hispanic man, and woman. The oppressor talking about, let's join together, Nick Cannon. Let's join together, Black entertainers. We have a shared history of oppression. I'll never forget, I was watching Sanford and Son with my father, right? You know what I mean? I was watching Sanford and Son with my father years ago. And it was that episode where Fred was sitting down with the so-called Jew, and the so-called Jew was like, we have a shared history, Mr. Sanford. I was a slave in Egypt, and you were a slave in America. No, Amalek. No, Esau. Blacks and Hispanics and First Nations were slaves in Egypt and slaves in America. Right. You ain't never been in bondage to no man, Goldberg, Eisenberg, Eisenhower. You ain't never been in captivity and subjugation and persecution to no man. You can miss me with that BS, man. Read on, Ashtawa.
That I gave thee.
That I gave thee, meaning the Lord gave this to us. Man, understand how heavy that is. The Lord gave us this culture. The Lord chose Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. He ain't choose the oppressor. He ain't choose the Chinese, the Japanese, the Africans. I know Africans like to say they Jews. They're not. Haile Selassie was a Hamite. He was an Ethiopian, a Cushite. He was an African. Right. He was not a Jew, man. Talk about he's a descendant of King Solomon. No, the hell he was not. He was not. And that nonsense stemmed from when Nekhor Sheba came to inquire of Solomon's wisdom, man. Solomon ain't sleep with her, ain't marry her and have a baby with her, man. Solomon ain't do that with that African. She came to inquire of his knowledge, and they love to create folklore about that. Haile Selassie ain't nothing special about him, ain't nothing special about the Ethiopians. They are not Jews neither. They are Hamites. I know y'all Negroes love Nipsey Hussle, and I'm going to say something that's controversial, and I don't give a damn. Nipsey Hussle was an African. He was an Ethiopian, a Cushite. He was not an Israelite, man. But you shame on you silly Israelites out there talking about Nipsey Hussle was this. I had a brother tell me, Nipsey Hussle had the spirit of an Israelite. When I was going through my depression and my anxiety, his music helped me. He has to be an Israelite, Yediah. No, man. Nipsey Hussle was a Hamite, and Bob Marley was a white man.
Right.
Scott, you got to cut that nonsense out, man. How do you know you an Israelite? How you know you were Jewish? By the seed of your father. Your father is black, Hispanic, and First Nation, man. You a Jew. And the so-called Jew is not a Jew. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4 is saying that we've been discontinued from our heritage that I gave thee. Read on.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies. We still serving our enemies to this day.
Right.
You go to your elevator plantation each and every day. You call it a job, it's a slavery. I hate slavery, man. I hate the fact that we have to do that, man. That nonsense, serving the oppressor. You think because you got a good job, you went to Harvard, you went to Yale. You think because you went to a top university. I had a sister tell me, well, you know, brother, I'm highly educated. I went to USC. I was like, well, sis, you know, I went to UCLA. I went to the University of the corner of Lincoln Avenue. Y'all got to cut that nonsense out, man. You think because you went to school, man, you went to college, you know what I mean, and you got a nice little slavery, that you better than your brothers and sisters because you get to serve the oppressor for a higher wage, man. You got to understand, black man, Hispanic man, and woman, you got to come out of that mindset. Going to work every day, that's a slavery. You are serving your oppressor at that slavery. And we serve our oppressors each and every day, man, while we in captivity. Read on.
I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
We don't know America. This ain't our land. We don't know this. How the hell we end up in Southwest Philly, Oscar? How we end up in North Philadelphia? How we end up in West Philly, How did we end up in San Bernardino? How we end up in Harlem? You think we just walked over here? No. Jerusalem is the mother of us all, man. That's our land. Zion, Israel, man. We don't know America. This is not our land. We still in the land of our captivity. We still serving our oppressors. And guess what? We can't even come out here and say that we're the real Jews because they will exorcise you. They will. Well, we saw what happened to Nick Cannon and our Garfield. That was a public castration.
Right.
They castrated Nick Cannon. And you want to know how you know they castrated Nick Cannon? Let's drop that. Hey, Bob, give me 2 Maccabees 6 and verse 6.
Oh, God. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Like, you know, so the heathen put out a decree, man. The oppressor put out a decree that we couldn't even keep Sabbath days. We couldn't keep the Sabbath. We couldn't rest, you know what I mean, on the 7th day, which is Saturday. We couldn't celebrate the Passover. We're going to have the Lord's Passover in Houston, Texas, man, at the Bundy Ranch on Playa Street. We're going to have the Feast of Purim, man. They tell us, man, that we can't even acknowledge, you know what I mean, our high holy days, our Sabbath days, man. Read on.
Kawkah, or ancient feast.
Or ancient feast. We got the Feast of Purim coming up. They don't want us to do that. Call your elevator plantation and ask them, could you have off for Purim? They're going to look at you like, nigga, what? You need off on what? No, I need you to go flip. I need you to go flip them boxes. Cut them boxes open. I need you to go make that sale, Shaquisha. I need you to go make that sale. You know what I mean, Jay? Go do it. The hell is wrong with you? The ancient feasts, the Sabbath days. No, you got too much time on your hand. And which is so heavy, Moses went to Pharaoh and said, we just want to go out to the wilderness and serve our God for 3 days. And Pharaoh said, oh, y'all niggas got too much time on your hand. And doubled our workload. It just goes to show you, man, the oppressor is just as evil as Pharaoh was, man. We couldn't keep ancient feasts. Read on.
Kawkah, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
We couldn't even profess ourselves at all to be a Jew. You couldn't come out here and say that you was a Jew. You can't even do it now. That's why Nick Cannon right now, it makes the situation so sad, man, because he don't know who our real enemy is. The so-called Jew has always been our enemy, and we're going to go into that. You can't even profess yourself to be a Jew. You profess yourself to be a Jew now, man, you're going to get ostracized. Go ahead, Oscar.
Good. That's exactly what Matt Cutler was saying. He was saying that's localized information. Like, what are you talking about? Like it was illegal for us to say it. So like,
and which is heavy, what you bring it up. It's offensive to them. I'm offended that you offended. Nick Cannon don't realize he's sitting there with that homosexual rabbi. You should be offended at his presence.
Right.
I'm talking about he a Jew. If only he knew the history of how evil the Amalekites are. As a matter of fact, let's go into that. Give me 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter.
Okay.
1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, Baba for sure. We're going to go into it right now. We're going to go into Samuel, powerful priest and prophet of the Most High, Yahweh, and what the Lord told him to do. What told him what him to do, when told him what he should tell King Saul when Saul was king at the time of Israel. Read what you got. Give me 1 Samuel 15 and verse 1.
Okay. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people.
And this time Saul was king over Israel, man. Our people wanted, at the time of the judges, they wanted to have the king of their own. And the Lord, you know what I mean? The Lord chose Saul, a Benjamite, to be king over Israel. And Samuel, who was the high priest of the Most High, going to Saul, saying, listen, man, the Lord said, do this. He set you king over his people. Read on.
Over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
I remember what?
That which Amalek did to Israel.
And I remember what Amalek did to Israel. As a matter of fact, let's get Amalek in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Let's get Amalek. I'm about to get it for you right now, Israel. I think I'm going to read it myself. Bear with me. Bobbity, bobbity. Bobbity, bobbity. Amalek. First off, Israel, we got to understand that Amalek is the seed of the oppressor, man. Amalek comes from Esau.
Right.
And we're going to get it for you right now. Give me Amalek right here.
Okay.
In the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. I want you to read it, brother, for sure.
Okay.
The water. Let me know when you got it.
Okay. This is This is Amalek in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Page 34.
This is Amalek. Read on.
Amalek, son of Eliphaz.
Son of Eliphaz. Read on.
Eldest son of Esau.
Eldest what?
Son of Esau.
Eldest son of Esau. Amalek, Amalek in the Hebrew, is the eldest son of Esau. And Esau is the forefather of the so-called white race, the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Now that we know who Amalek is, let's go back to 1 Samuel. The eldest son of Esau, man. Out woman in Hebrew, which means red. Goes to show you, man, he ain't no real Jew. He's the so-called Jew. The devil the Bible speaks of. Read on.
Oh God. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 1. In the middle. Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
What did Amalek do to Israel, bro? Amalek, he's some history, waited to attack us while we was coming out of Egypt, man. And big shout out to Captain 13,000, Shapar the Pod, for bringing this out, man. For bringing this out, you know what I mean, and going into the Joshua, and you know what I mean, and Joshua, the Ephraim brother, so-called Puerto Rican, on how Amalek came and attacked us from the rear, where they attacked our weak and elderly and sick, man. Goes to show you what type of homosexual coward the white man is, the oppressor. Go ahead, Ashtawa.
If I could, too. If you read the Bible, and you go look at the people that say they're the Jews, like, I can't see a white boy beating Goliath. Like, y'all can't, the so-called fake Jew, especially, like, I haven't seen none of y'all to lie. Like,
right.
You was killing people with a jawbone. That's one of y'all. Now, I can see LeBron killing every goddamn body, how big he is. We got Mike Tyson. We got, when have they ever known for fighting? In the Bible, the Israelites are known for fighting.
Right.
So, like,
but you bring out so heavy, I can't see that neither. I can't see the oppressor beating Goliath. Like, what? You see little brothers do it all the time. In the NBA, right? Everybody was clowning Nate Robinson because he got knocked out by that devil, right? But Nate Robinson is 5'8", 5'9". He won the slam dunk contest 3 times, competing against brothers 6'10" and 7 feet. And he's 5'8", 5'9". Black man and Hispanic man, we do extraordinary things, man. We slay giants, man. What you got to understand is that's not in the oppressor's nature. He ain't built like that. Esau ain't built like that to take on somebody like Goliath, man. Esau ain't taking down 1,000 Africans with the jawbone of a donkey. He ain't doing that.
Right.
He ain't doing that. He ain't killing a lion and a bear trying to protect the lamb of the Most High. That was David, man. That's how hardcore David was. And I'm going to go into that next Thursday, man, for the Pittsburgh history class. We're going to go into King David next Thursday. And what we have to understand, man, and it just goes to show you the oppressor ain't built like that. He's weak. And you see how mentally weak he is today? Hell, the sun don't even agree with him. You know what the leading cause of them deaths over there for them Amalekites, them so-called Jews? The sun is burning them up, giving them melanoma, giving them cancer. Or I can tell you why y'all was shy for that. It just goes to show you they ain't the real Jew. And you was in Egypt back then? Come on now. That wasn't you. Y'all ain't built like that. Give me a break. Read on, Ibad.
I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
I remember what Amalek did to Israel, man. Lord, like, hold on, man. I remember what them homosexuals did to us, attacking our rear with our sick and weakened babies and elderly. Read on.
He laid wait for him in the way. When he came up from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek.
The Lord said, go and smite Amalek. Man, go take care of them. Go lay hands on them. Go kill them for that. Read on.
And utterly destroy.
Utterly destroy. Man, we were supposed to destroy Amalek. They not even supposed to be here.
Right.
They not. But read on.
And utterly destroy all that they had.
And utterly destroy all that they had. Meaning, go destroy them and destroy all that they had. That's what Samuel was telling Saul, man. The Lord said, go and smite Amalek. Go destroy everything they got. Don't leave none of them alive. Read on.
And spare them not.
He said, spare them not. Don't spare none of them. None of them, because they ain't deserving of mercy. Read on.
But slay both man and woman.
Listen, Samuel told Saul, slay man and woman. Slay the women, slay the babies. And that had been righteous in the sight of the Most High.
Right.
Let's read on.
Infant and suckling.
Infant and suckling. I don't give a damn if they a man, woman, child, beast. Kill them all. That's what the Lord told Samuel to tell Saul. Read on.
Ox and sheep.
Ox and sheep. Don't even take their animals and eat them. Kill them too. Kill everything that they got. Let's see what Saul did. Read on.
Camel and ass.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telam, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah.
Listen, he went and got 10,000 men of Judah and 2,000 hunted. You know what I mean? And 2,100, 1,000 footmen, man. We have to go lay waste to Amalek. Let's see what Saul does. Read on.
Verse 5. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites.
Let me tell you something. This is hardcore. What Saul said. I will give him that. This is hardcore. He told them Africans, Yo, you best get away from them. You don't want to be with Amalek right now. Read on.
Lest I destroy you with them.
Lest I destroy you with them. And you know what was so beautiful about this, Ashtawa? When I read that, you know what I mean, how glorious the kingdom gonna be. When I go tell the Black Panther and Mufutu and Nongala to go smite Esau for me in the kingdom, they're gonna do it. They're gonna say, Kanada one Khan, Lord nigga Yediah. Kanada one Khan, sir. I'm going to go smite Tim. I'm going to go smite Phil and Susie McGillicuddy. Yes, sir. That's when we rule, man, and we gonna rule again. Saul said, man, you better go get from away from them unless you get killed too. Unless I deal with you as well. Read on.
For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel.
He said, y'all showed kindness to the children of Israel, man. Y'all came and y'all showed kindness. But y'all better get away from Amalek. Read on.
When they came up out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So the Canaanites departed from among the Amalekites.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites.
And Saul smoked them, man. Saul got rid of smoke Amalek. Read on. Killed them.
From Havilah until thou comest to shore.
From one side to the other side. One side to the other side of the shore. Go ahead, read on.
That is over against Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
What did Saul do wrong? What did he do wrong? Let me know. Go ahead, Ibud.
He didn't kill the king, sir.
He didn't kill Agag.
Right.
Samuel told Saul, kill all of them. All of them. Don't spare nothing. But Saul didn't listen, man. He spared Agag the king. Read on.
Kawakad. And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9. But Saul and the people spared Agag.
They spared Agag. That's where Saul made his mistake, man. He lost the rulership for that. He lost the kingship for that, man. Because he spared Agag. And he ain't just spared Agag. Read on.
And the best of the sheep.
He spared the best of the sheep when the Lord said, kill everything. The sheep, the ox, all that. Read on.
And of the oxen.
Mm-hmm.
And of the fatlings.
And of the fatlings, man. I mean, Saul disobeyed the Most High.
Right.
He disobeyed the Lord. He's supposed to kill everything that Amalek had, including them. Read on.
And the lambs. And all that was good.
Right.
And would not utterly destroy them.
He ain't utterly destroyed them, man, which is going to come to be a thorn in our side, man. Because Saul disobeyed the Lord and did not do this, that's why Amalek is still here today. When we were supposed to get Amalek a long time ago. They not even supposed to be here, Israel. Read on.
But everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying.
Now the Lord came to Samuel and was like, oh man, Samuel, go ahead. Go talk to this nigga. Read on.
Verse 11. It repented me that I have set up Saul to be king.
The Lord said, it repented me, man. I regret this, making Saul king of Israel. That nigga don't listen. Saul does not listen. Read on.
For he is turned back from following me.
He turned back from following the Lord. Saul disobeyed the Most High, man, by sparing Agag and sparing the best of the Amalekites. Read on.
And have not performed my commandments.
They have not performed thy commandments, man, which goes to show you, remember, the Lord tell you to do something, you do it. You do it. You say, con out of one con. Which goes to show you, man, just, you know what I mean, what type of king, what type of man Saul was, man. Having compassion for them Amalekites, having compassion for the oppressor. And that's what Nick had, man. He had compassion for the oppressor. And that's what a lot of our people have, man. We don't have compassion for the oppressor here in the Israelite school of UPK.
Right.
I pray you understand. Read on, Ibud.
And it grieved Samuel.
It grieved Samuel. Samuel like, damn, man, for real? He did that? Read on.
And he cried unto the Lord all night. Verse 12. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel. Behold, he set him up a place and is gone about and passed on. and gone down to Gilgal.
Mm-hmm. Now Samuel went to go see Saul. He's like, I gotta go see this nigga now. Read on.
Verse 13. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord.
Man, and Saul said to Samuel, Blessed be thou. Read on. Samuel, like Saul's like, Blessed be thou, Samuel. Look what we got. We winning. We won. Read on.
I have performed the commandment of the Lord.
Saul is delusional right now. He's like, I performed what the Lord told me to do. I did what the Lord told me to do, sir. Read on.
Verse 14. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears?
And let me tell you something. The goal is to show you just how hardcore Samuel was, and to show you that, you know what I mean, the prophets of old were black and Hispanic men. Saul was hardcore. I mean, Samuel was hardcore right there. Samuel was a real nigga. Samuel said, what's that I hear? What's that I hear, nigga? What's that? What's the bleating of the sheep I hear? What's going on with this? Read on.
And the lowing of the oxen which I hear.
He said, I hear the lowing of the oxen. I hear the sheep and the oxen. Didn't I tell you that the Lord said, kill everything? What's the matter with you? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 15. And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed.
But that's the thing right there. He said, but we kept this so we can sacrifice to the Lord. But what goes to show you, Saul was not paying attention. Saul did not listen. That's why the Lord said he requires of us obedience, man. The Lord would rather us obey him. The Lord does not take pleasure in punishing us, man. He would rather blacks and Hispanics and First Nation men and women to obey him, man. And Saul disobeyed the Most High by sparing Agag and the sheep and all of them, man. Read on.
Verse 16. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto him, Say on.
Now Samuel, like, let me tell you what the Lord said. Read on.
Verse 17. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, was thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel?
He said, when thou was little in thy own sight, meaning you was small, but the Lord made you the head of Israel. Read on.
And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel?
And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel. Read on.
Verse 18. And the Lord sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites.
The sinners, the Amalekites, man. Them wicked bastards, man, for what they done to our people. And you see what they do to us to this day. Go ahead, Oscar.
If I could, what's happy about that to me is, like, when you think about it, a lot of our people want our oppressors to be okay and you know, to do well, and you do well and we'll do well. And that's not how it works. You understand?
Right.
Like, if you leave this man alone when he gets the chance, he's not going to have the same mercy on you. He's not going to want to be cool with you and be on the same level as you. You understand? So it's like, we can't even rise up because it's like the Nick Cannon situation, like, oh, I'm going to bring y'all in. And then now you're going to end up putting yourself back behind somebody else. They're going to figure out a way to stake you out of it and make it seem like they did everything and take all the credit from you. Like, that's wisdom from the Lord right there. Like, kill all of them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Destroy all that stuff. Kill all of them. Don't take nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, get that up out of the way. That's something that don't need to be in the earth. But our people being so disobedient and trying to be halfway compassionate, not really realizing the foolishness of it. It's like, you want the oppressor to do well, is just making it to where he is better at oppressing.
Exactly. You enabling him to be a better slave master over you, man.
Right.
Listen, man, read on.
Verse 18. And the Lord sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed.
And fight against them until they be consumed, man. And that's why they still around now. They still around now because Saul didn't consume all of them. He ain't kill all of them. Read on.
Right. Verse 19. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord. Verse 20. And Saul
They
said,
did evil in sight of the Most High by not doing that, man. Read on.
And Saul said unto Samuel, Yes, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord. Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites.
But he didn't. But he spared Agag. He spared the sheep and the oxen. And the Lord told Saul, you know what I mean, to kill all of them, man. Which goes to show you we have to obey the Most High. You can't do your own thing, man. When the Lord tells you to do something, you do it. Read on. When the man of the Lord tells you to do something, you do it. Period. Read on.
Verse 21. But the people took the spoil, sheep and oxen, and chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal.
Right. Read verse 22.
Verse 22. And Samuel said, Have the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings, sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
For what? Read that again.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better than sacrifice. Meaning it's better to obey the Most High than to make a sacrifice for him. If you obey the Lord, you ain't got nothing to worry about, man. Read on.
Oh God, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
And to hearken to the fat of rams. It's better to listen to the Lord, man. Read on.
Verse 23. For rebellion is as in the sin of witchcraft.
For rebellion is as in the sin of witchcraft. And our people are rebellious to this day. We rebel against the Most High, man. We rebel against the Most High in Christ. You come against the camp, you come against the Israelite school of UPK all the time, man. We got to stop being rebellious, Israel. And understand this is the house of the Lord, man. The Most High Yahweh dwells here. You got to do what the Lord says to do. Samuel was telling Saul, you messed up, huh? You messed up. You were supposed to kill all them. And what Ashton Wap said, you don't understand, man, the oppressor, all he needs is one opportunity. And we're going to go into that. We're getting ready to go in, we getting ready to celebrate the Feast of Purim with Esther and Mordecai, man. Read on, Ibad.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
And his stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, as sin and idolatry, man. Read on. Because thou hast
rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king.
He has rejected thee from being king. And the Lord rejected him from being king, man, because he messed up. Drop down to verse 32. I want to get to what they did to Agag for time's sake.
Verse 32.
Verse 32.
Then said Samuel, Bring me hither to me Agag.
Now Samuel said, Bring Agag to me. Let's see what Samuel was going to do, man. Read on.
The king of the Amalekites.
The king of the Amalekites, the king of these so-called Jews. Read on.
And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past.
Agag said, man, surely the bitterness of death is past. But Agag got another thing coming. Let's read on.
Oh God, verse 33. And Samuel said, As the sword had made woman childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women.
And Samuel said something that was hardcore, man. He said, and as the sword had made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. Read on.
Oh God. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces.
Good night. You know what that means? You know what Samuel did? He chopped Agag up in pieces. Samuel did the work of the Lord. That's what Saul was supposed to do. Samuel said, Bring Agag here. And Samuel said, As the sword had made women childless, so shall your mothers be childless. And said, boom, boom, boom. Chop that devil in half. Cut him in pieces, man. Which goes to you, man. Let it obey the Lord. Now, because of that, right? Because Saul made that mistake, this happened. Ashwa, I want you to give me Esther, the 7th chapter, Baba Kushaw. Give me Esther 3 and verse 1. And give me Agag in the give me Haman in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary.
Okay.
But Ashwa, give me Esther 3 and verse 1. See what that says, Baba Kushaw.
Read it now.
You can read it now.
You said Esther 3, right?
Yeah, Esther the 3rd chapter. Start at verse 1.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, and verse 1. After these things, did King. Salak, I ain't said that name.
Salak, I'm about to get there with you. 1 second, Baba Kushaw.
Shubris?
Kind, I believe so.
Ahasuerus?
Ahasuerus.
Promote Haman, the son of Hamada, the Agagite.
What?
The Agagite.
The Agagite. What does that mean, Haman the Agagite? What does that mean? The Agagite. I'll tell you what it means. It means Haman, this wicked ruler that's under the king at this time, he's of the stock of Agag. Give me Haman in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary.
Oh God, this is Haman, and this is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 214. Haman, the great enemy of the Jews.
The what?
The great enemy of the Jews.
He was the great enemy of the Jews. Haman was one of our greatest enemies, man. Read on.
In the days of Esther.
In the days of Esther, Haman was a great enemy amongst us, man. A great enemy amongst us, man. Haman tried to wipe all blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women out, man. Read on there a little bit more.
Oh God. Ahasuerus, or Erxes, as he is known in secular history, had promoted Haman to a high position in the court.
Mm-hmm.
But Mordecai, the noble Jew, refused to do him absence.
Meaning Mordecai, who was Esther's uncle, man, didn't bow to that heathen, man. And I'll give you the gist of it. Haman did not bow. I mean, Haman was upset because Mordecai did not, subject unto him. He did not bow unto him. Yeah, Mordecai was a hardcore brother. Mordecai he ain't bow unto Haman. And Haman said, you know what? I'm going to kill all of you niggas for that. I'm going to kill all of you Jews, man. Go ahead, Ashtawa.
If I could, this is the one where we was in like captivity, and then he kept trying to like snitch on us to the king. Like, look, now they're doing this, now they're doing this.
Yeah.
This and that.
Yeah. And he convinced the king, to wipe us out. But Esther, who was Mordecai's niece, and Mordecai raised her up. And she had to do what she had to do, man, for the sake of our people, man, Israel. And Haman was upset because Mordecai did not bow to him, man. And it just goes to show you, if Saul would have did what he had to do to take care of Amalek, this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Now, give me Agag or Agagite in the Zondervan, Baba Shaw. Let me see what that says.
Okay. This is Agag.
And this is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 24.
Mm-hmm.
Agag, perhaps meaning violent. Number one, an important king of Amalek, of whom Balaam prophesied that a king of Jacob, Israel, would surpass him.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the king of the Amalekites.
King of the Amalekites, man. When it says, the Haman was an Agagite, meaning he came from the lineage of Agag. There any more about?
Okay.
Read.
Verse 2, the king of the Amalekites, whom Saul captured alive, though God had, through the prophet Samuel, ordered him to destroy them entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel, as judge, pronounced sentence of death upon him for all his cruel deeds. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord.
Listen, man. Go ahead.
I have Agagite.
Go ahead. Read Agagite.
Agagite. And and epithet applied to Haman as enemy of the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, sir.
Listen, man.
Okay.
Haman was the great enemy of the Jews, and he was an Amalekite, man. He was a descendant of Agag, man, and a Gagite. And he was a great enemy to our people. And as Ashtawap said, man, because Saul didn't destroy him, now they got a second chance to wipe us out. And we're going to go over, man, like especially for the Feast of Purim, on what Esther had to do to save, our people. And it just goes to show you, man, just obeying the Lord. And I bring this out for a reason. What Nick Cannon don't realize is that the oppressor, he is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
He is. You sitting up here bowing and wanting to join forces with the so-called Jew, but he's not. He's our enemy. And at every turn, they are always looking to get rid of us, man. Just as Agag and them tried to do it back then. How Amalek waited for us when we came out of Israel to attack, when we came out of Egypt, to attack our rear, man, with the young and the weak and the elderly. We're not supposed to trust the oppressor, man.
Right.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10, man. If I can get that Bible to show about. Yeah, Ecclesiasticus. Give me Ecclesiasticus 12 and verse 10.
Okay.
And then Ashtawap, give me Job 9 and 24. Job 9 and 24 Bible for sure. But let me get Ibad scripture first.
Okay. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thy enemy, man. You ain't supposed to trust our enemies. You ain't supposed to trust the Amalekites. It's only if Nick Cannon knew that. You're not supposed to trust the so-called Jew. Read on.
For like as iron rusteth.
Like as iron rusteth, because iron eventually rusts. Iron will rust. Read on.
So is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness, man. So is the wickedness of the oppressor. Drop down to verse 16.
Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
The oppressor is going to speak sweetly with his lips. He sat down with Nick Cannon and said, well, he said, we suffered just like you did. We was in slavery in Egypt. Go ahead, Ashtawap.
If I could, with that whole Nick Cannon situation, even with what they trying to do for like the entertainment, it's like our oppressor has been signing predatory contracts with brothers where you basically a slave, you're not making no money to our brothers and sisters in the music industry for so long. And for you to say you're trying to do something righteous and include them into the righteousness that you're trying to do, that shows how much of a slave you are.
Right.
How much you'd rather be under your oppressor than to be your people. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying earlier, like when you said that was like a castration of Nick Cannon, like that's really what it was. Like they checked the hell out of him. And then he had to bow his head down and smile at that devil. And now he's supposed to be trying to do something righteous for people that have been oppressed. But it's like, that's the people who was oppressing you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's like the sheep going, oh, we fenced in now. Let's invite the wolves to the party.
That's what they doing. They openly inviting the wolves to come eat dinner. But they don't realize we're the food. We're what's on the menu, man. What Ashtawap was bringing out was so heavy, man, which is important for all people to understand. You are not to trust this devil, man. Right. You are not to trust him. If only Nick Cannon knew that. He's too busy loving the oppressor, loving the mass singer, loving the wealth that he got from the oppressor, man. But he don't realize he's rich in being an Israelite, man. That's why it's important, man, to understand that the true leadership is here in the ISUPK.
That's right.
Read on, Ibad.
But in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
In his mind, he's trying to imagine how he can throw you in a ditch. He making that alliance with you right now. He talking sweetly to you right now. But the oppressor cannot wait to destroy you again, Nick Cannon. He cannot wait to get rid of us. And it just goes to show you, man, we have to serve the Lord. Now, our history is here, right here in this Bible, for us to understand that we have rules and regulations that we have to serve. We have to do what the Lord said to do, and that's keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why the prophets came out, to prophesy unto us. That's why Christ told us, man, when they are the synagogue of Satan. He told us that, and they do lie. And he told us to go, and go not into the way of the Gentiles, to go to the lost sheep, because we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. We are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And what we have to understand, man, the oppressor is going to pay for these deeds that he's done to us, man.
Right.
He's going to pay. There's going to come a time, man, when the oppressor is not going to be here. He's
Right.
not going to be on the earth. As a matter of fact, give me Amos, the 9th chapter, and start at verse 8. Give me Amos 9 and verse 8.
Okay.
Because the oppressor is in rulership right now. He is in charge. But the Lord sees that, and the Lord has something for the oppressor. Read what you got.
Okay. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amos 9 and 8, both for sure.
Okay. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
The eyes of the Most High Yahweh is upon this sinful kingdom, man. The Lord's eyes are upon Babylon. It's upon the oppressor. It's upon America. It's upon the so-called Jew. Read on.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
The Lord is going to destroy this evil, wicked kingdom of the oppressor off the face of the earth, man. We're going to have to check out the oppressor in a museum. They're going to be like, Father, Abba, that's the man, like it says in Isaiah. He's the man, the one that ruled over us. They ain't going to believe it. They're going to look at us like, nigga, you crazy. But the Lord is going to destroy it from the face of the earth, man. Read on.
Saying that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
Utterly, I will not destroy the house of Jacob. I mean, the Lord is not going to utterly destroy us, man. The Lord is not going to utterly destroy our people, man. And this is why we have to understand this. This is time for us to do what the Lord said to do. This is the time for us to turn from our wickedness. What I mean, turn from our wickedness, man. We got to stop doing, you know what I mean, the evil deeds of the oppressor, of your white daddy, and do what the Lord said to do. Leave the oppressor alone. Understand, man, there's no point to make an alliance with them. Understand, man. As a matter of fact, give me Lamentations 3 and 22, Bubba, for sure. Give me Lamentations 3 and 22, because we have to understand, man, is that the Lord's anger is upon us because we following after these other nations. But the Lord said that he would not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. Now, give me Lamentations 3 and 22, Bubba, for sure. Yeah, Lamentations 3 and verse 22.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 3 and verse 22. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed.
It's the Lord's what?
Mercies that we are
It's of the Lord's mercies that we are not what?
consumed.
It's of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed. It's of the Most High Yahweh's mercy that we have not been utterly consumed by these people. Because the Lord has not truly cast away his people, man. The Lord is not truly cast away. That's why in Romans 11 and 1, man, for Paul said, for God have cast away his people. God forbid, because I am an Israelite, the tribe of Benjamin, of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. And that's why the Lord reserved to him 7,000 men that have not bowed themselves down to Baal, man. And those men are right here in the ISUPK. Right. The Lord's eyes are upon this sinful kingdom, and it's because of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. Read on. Because it's read on. Read it again from the top. Lamentations 3 and 22.
It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. Because his compassion fails not.
Because his compassion fails not, man. Let's go back to Amos 9 and 8, man. Where the Lord said his eyes are upon this sinful kingdom, man. And he will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. The Lord is not going to utterly destroy us, man. The Lord is going to set us in our own kingdom. That's why it's important for us to get ourselves together, to turn from our wickedness and repent and come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments and come into the ISUPK. That's why it's important for us to learn our history so we don't make the same mistakes that we made in the past. Right. Drop down to verse 11, like that.
Okay. This book of Amos, 9, verse 11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David.
The Lord said, in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David. Man, the Lord is going to raise the tabernacle of David that was destroyed, man. He's going to build the temple back up. Read on.
That is fallen. And close up the breaches thereof.
We're going to close up the breaches thereof. We're going to rebuild it. It's going to be better than ever. Read on.
And I will raise up his ruin. And I will build it as in the days of old.
And I will build it as in the days of old, man. We're going to be back in our land, Jerusalem, Zion, man. The temple is going to be erected again. We're going to be good. Read on.
Verse 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom.
And they may possess what?
The remnant of Edom.
That we may possess the remnant of Edom, meaning the remaining of the Edomites, the remaining of the Amalekites that do survive, we are going to possess them. We are going to possess them, man. Look. We are going to possess them, man. The remnant of Edom, the oppressor. There's going to come a time, man, where they're going to be our handmaids, our servants, our slaves, because we were their slaves, man. We still their slaves. The Lord said we will possess the remnant of Edom. We're going to rule over our oppressors, man, because they rule over us. Read on.
And of all the heathen.
And of all the heathen. We're going to rule over all of the heathen, man. Read on. Over the Chinese, Japanese, the Arabs, the East Indian, the Filipinos, the oppressor. We're going to rule over all of them. I pray you understand. We're going to be in heaven and they going to be in hell. Read on.
Which are called by my name.
Which are called by thy name, man. Which are called by thy name. Read on.
Saith the Lord that doeth this.
Thus saith the Lord doeth this. Now, give me Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9, Baba for sure. Give me Revelation 13 and verse 9. This is what we have to understand, man. The oppressor has what's coming to him, man. Because he's done us evil. He's destroyed us, man.
This book of Revelation, so 13, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
If any man have an ear.
If any man have an ear, read on.
Let him hear.
Let him hear. Read.
Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity, because the oppressor led us into captivity. Read on.
Shall go into captivity.
Shall go into captivity. Meaning the oppressor led us into captivity. Now he must go into captivity. We were his slaves, we were his servants. Now they're going to be ours. Read on.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Meaning they must be killed with the sword. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Read on.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. They killed us with the sword. They must be killed with the sword, man. This is what we have to understand, man. This is the time for every Black, Hispanic, and First Nation man and woman to turn from our wickedness and do what the Lord said to do. Understand that the Lord is going to have mercy on Jacob and utterly choose us. And we're going to rule over our oppressors. This is why it is time for us to do this. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 1. I'm going to close out with that. We'll close out a little early tonight. Read on. What you got? Zephaniah 2 and verse 1.
This is the book of
Zephaniah 2 and 1.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desired.
Gather yourselves together, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desired, because we are not desired of the Lord's chosen people, man. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, coming to the ISUPK. This is the safe haven of all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. If you want to change your condition, change your life, and for the better, and join the Lord's army and separate from this wicked kingdom, which is America, come and join the ISUPK. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get one last scripture. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6, for sure. We have to understand, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, that we are the special people of the Most High. I'm going to show you just how special we are as the Lord's chosen people. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6, for sure.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, 7 verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art an holy people.
For thou art a holy people. We are holy people, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Holy means to be separate. Holy ain't your grandma with the feathered hat, you know what I mean, and your pastor with the white robe and the Rolls Royce. Holy means to be separate. The Lord is saying we should be separate. Read on.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Lord thy God. We are separate unto the Lord thy God, because the Lord thy God don't give a damn about all nations. He don't give a damn about the so-called Jew. We the Lord's chosen people, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Read on.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord chose us to be a special people unto himself. Ain't nobody more special than Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. We are the special people of the Lord. Yo, ain't nothing special about the so-called Jew. Ain't nothing special about the oppressor. Ain't nothing special about the Japanese, the Filipinos, the Chinese, and the Arabs and the East Indians. Ain't nothing special about them, man. We are the special people of the Most High. Read them.
Above all people.
We above some people,
All people.
a little bit of people.
All people.
We above all people, black man, Hispanic man, and woman. We above all people. First Nation man and woman, you are above the oppressor. You above Donald Trump. You above Joe Biden. I don't give a damn what condition you in, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. The Lord made us to be above all these heathens, man. Read on.
That are upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. We are above all these heathens. Feel that for a second, black man, Hispanic man, and First Nation man and woman. We owe it to the Most High. Do what the Lord said to do and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Understand our history and have faith in our King and a black man by the name of Jesus Christ.
Right.
With that being said, I'm preaching episode 1000 Yediah. This is the Thursday night history class. And make sure, man, y'all tune in to Commander General Yahada on Black Watch. Tune in to General 12 Shield General Hazai Yun. Let the Hebrews speak. Tune in to 12 Shield General Mayaka Alaka's new show, Ask Ye the Prophets. Make sure y'all send your questions into the email, Ask Ye the Prophets. And we're going to get to it and answer it, man. Ask You the Prophets every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., man. And with that, good.
Cross the line.
Cross the Line, Craig. Listen, Cross the Line Radio tonight, man. Tune in to Cross the Line Radio right at 10 p.m. to 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., man. Tune in to One West Radio in the West Coast with my big brother, Captain Kadal Hall, and my brother, Thubble Wan, man. Preaching Officer 1000 out there. And this show, Practical Knowledge, man. And with that, I'm Yediah. Make sure you pay your tithes, and we're going to see you at the Passover. Shalom, and I'm going to pass the class off to the prison officer, Ashtawa.
These are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is a 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandments. You can find it in the book of Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, or in the book of Malachi chapter 3 and verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, or ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We got the Feast of Purim coming up. It's this month, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which is Thursday, February the 25th, and Friday, February the 26th. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20 through 31. Remind all Akim and Akwaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that being said, it's Maja, which means to stand. We will give one courtesy salute, men of Israel, and Maja Shabbat. Maja, Rock.
Yahweh by Shimmy Yahweh Shah, Barak Thumb.
That's your baton, hands down. Sar, which means turn, face the sisters. Sisters, your salute is
Your feet at a 45-degree angle.
Your feet at a 45-degree angle with your right hand over your left hand with your head covered and your head bowed. We will get a sister one courtesy salute. Maja Shabbat. Maja.
Yahweh Shamar, Al Thumb by Shimmy Yahweh Shah.
That's my top. Class dismissed.